Hello everyone, this is Dino Chris from Prehistoric, and this is Prehistoric special episode number 226. We're going to be talking about an ancient amphibian this time. Haven't done amphibians in a while, and so today's amphibian we're going to be talking about is Anthracosaurus. And so this is the best image I can find of Anthracosaurus, and so this is a really cool art piece. And yeah, this is a really cool prehistoric amphibian here. So, some information about Anthracosaurus. The name Anthracosaurus means coal lizard, but looks can be deceiving when it comes to the fossils, but I'll get into that later. Length is 10 feet or 3 meters. Weight is 200 pounds. It lived 315 million years ago in the late Carboniferous period, and fossils are found in England and Scotland in the UK, and also in Ohio in the United States, and was described by Huxley in 1863. So this fossil has been around for a long time. Even when the early years of paleontology was actually in the early years of paleontology, in the early stages of paleontology. And so, yeah, and so, and yeah, I'll go into a little bit more information about why it's not a lizard in a little bit. And so, yeah, and so let's actually continue. And so here's maps of the United States and the UK. And so Ohio, that's the state right here that is actually in between Indiana, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Kentucky, and Michigan. And so it's this orange state right here in the kind of like in the eastern part of the United States, not the East Coast, but it's more in the east side. It's considered part of the Midwest, but in the eastern side of the Midwest. But anyway, that's where some fossils have been found in this state. And then, of course, you got Scotland, which is this type of country right up here in yellow. And then you got England. And so fossils are mostly have been found in those areas of the UK. It's mainly Scotland and England. And there is plenty of Carboniferous fossils in Scotland and England, but mostly in Scotland. But there's Carboniferous fossils that are also found in the United States too, but it's mainly in the East Coast type of stuff. And so, yeah, let's actually continue. And so, more information about Anthracosaurus is that it's part of the ancient amphibian group called the Ambolomeri, and so it's an ancient amphibian group. It's a large amphibian, and so reason why it was named coal lizard is because Huxley thought it was a reptile, but it wasn't. Like many years down the road, is when they looked at the when scientists looked at the fossils, mainly paleontologists looked at these fossils, and they were like, wait a minute, looks nothing like a lizard, even though the skull looks like it's a lizard, but it's not. It's not a lizard. It looks like something that you very similarly see in, like, say, a frog or a salamander. And so when they looked at the skulls of salamanders and compared them to some of the ancient amphibians from, like, say, the Devonian or the Carboniferous and the Permian, they go like, these are amphibians. These are amphibians, and so that's the reason why it is considered an amphibian, an ancient amphibian, a large amphibian. And so Anthracosaurus has a large and slender body type. So this animal might not have large limbs by any means. They probably had small limbs. They go on land very rarely, but they were actually in the water majority of the time. And they breathed air, so they did have a rib cage, and it had lungs. So that's what it would probably have. And also had very large teeth. When you look at Anthracosaurus skull pieces, you actually see they has very large teeth. So this animal is going after some pretty big stuff, and so that's probably the reason why it had large teeth. And of course, it's a carnivore, and so this animal has those really large teeth because it's a carnivore. The environment in which Anthracosaurus lived in would have been hot and humid. In the Carboniferous, it would have been very hot and humid, especially when you're near the equator, because where the UK and Ohio are in the Carboniferous, they were right near smack the equator, and so it would have been really hot and humid. It would have been a lot of rainforest, And so you have rain periodically that it would happen in that particular kind of time in those areas. There have been plenty of trees and also ancestors to ferns. And the plants that were not around was, of course, no grass, no flowers, no cycads, and no conifers. So these were very primitive type of plants, very primitive plants, and it would have been very swampy. It would have been very swampy type of environment. And so this would have a lot of areas where the oxygen levels in the soil are kind of low, but the oxygen levels in the atmosphere were much higher than they are today. When you look at the atmosphere in the Carboniferous, especially in the late Carboniferous, you would actually see is that are the oxygen in the atmosphere a third is a third of the atmosphere on Earth. Oxygen was that's very high. Where in today's case, it's like just like around 21% oxygen levels, whereas in the Carboniferous, would have been like say 33 or even 35% oxygen, and that's very high. And of course, in those swampy environments, there would have been plenty of rivers, lakes, and ponds. Other types of animals that would have been around, like large insects, fish, other large amphibians, and some of the very first reptiles. So reptiles were starting to take a foothold in the Carboniferous, but they were very small. They were not really large yet, and so amphibians were the you can say the largest land vertebrates that were on land, and so but in the waters it would have been a lot of fish and also the other amphibians in the inland type of environments. Now the prey that Anthracosaurus would have gone after is large insects, fish, and even some small reptiles, but mostly fish and the large insects. Those would have been the main prey sources for Anthracosaurus. I would not consider it as a top predator. It is actually one of them, but it's not really the top predator. It's one of them. So like Meganura, for example, probably could have been the top predator of the time because it's a giant dragonfly. You can also say some of the large scorpions that were there too. Those would have been considered the top predator. Like, name it. And so, yeah, those would have been some of the top predators, but Anthracosaurus could actually be one of them as well. The extinction of Anthracosaurus is due to climate change. Oxygen levels were decreasing near the end of the Carboniferous, and so oxygen levels were going down, and also carbon dioxide levels rose. They rose significantly. So volcanic eruptions, that sort of thing, probably were more likely the causes. But of course, Pangea was fully formed by the end of the Carboniferous period. So Pangea was fully formed at that particular kind of time. And of course, reptiles were beginning to increase in population, but also in size. And so this actually made the amphibians run as the largest land animals. Uh, Pretty much just was very short lived because reptiles were beginning to dominate the planet on land. And so, yeah, that's how it actually happened. And so here is the map of what the late Carboniferous period looked like. And so this is the best one that I could find of the late Carboniferous. And so you got some glaciation happening in the southern parts of Gondwana. But look where North America and the UK are. They're right there along the equator. And so that's awesome to see that at that point in time, it would have been really, really warm at that point in time. And because when you're near the equator, it is very hot and humid. It is very hot and humid. And so the next episode will be on June 13th, 2024, and that'll be a Q&A episode. So if you get any questions about dinosaurs and other prehistoric life, feel free to email me at dinochrist71@gmail.com, or let's go to my Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts of Dino Chris. Like the page, yes, you put your questions in the comment section. Please put them in the comment section. Don't put them on Messenger. Messenger is a private conversation, so please put your questions in the comment section on any Facebook post. And also for you YouTubers out there, like the video, subscribe to the channel. According to my analytics, a lot of you guys are checking out my channel and not subscribed yet, so please feel free to hit that subscribe button, and also hit that like button, because that's how the YouTube algorithm works now. The more likes the video gets, the more likely the video gets spread out to people that are interested in dinosaurs, prehistoric life, paleontology, and geology in general. And but all of you can also share the video, share the channel to anybody that is interested in dinosaurs, prehistoric life, paleontology, and geology in general. So please feel free to do so, and also hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, so that we can get weekly notifications of every video that comes out. So please feel free to hit that bell on the page on any video. And also, for you YouTubers out there, feel free to leave your questions in the comment section, because I do read them all. Your questions do mean a lot on the Q&A episodes. So all of you that are sending me questions via email, Facebook, and YouTube, you guys are awesome. You're giving me some great questions for the Q&A episodes. Keep up the great work, and also make sure you keep your questions short to the point. You can also follow me on Instagram at down.chris.pf. I post pretty cool stuff on there. You can also follow me on Threads. It's at the same thing at down.chris.pf. I post pretty cool stuff on there as well. Also for you, and also take care of the people around you, and also for younger people out there, to make sure to listen to your parents, your teachers, and your guardians. So the best motivation you could have for good education is very important to have a good education. So with a good education, you get a good job in the future. That's it for now, and I'll see you guys next time.